Pollard to the moon. Austin Ekeler, DeAndre Hopkins trade updates, I guess, kind of. And Cam Newton making a comeback. We're going to talk about all this, and we'll talk about plenty more tonight, I am sure. But first, I got to ask. If you have not joined flockfantasy.com/endgame, what are you waiting for? If you like fantasy football, and if you're watching this, you obviously like fantasy football, this is where you need to be. You get access to not only us, Fantasy Endgame, all of our rankings, but you also get access to Flock Fantasy, Fantasy Stock Exchange, Dynasty Land Football, all of our rankings. Or if you don't want everybody else's rankings, just ours. Also, we are dropping bonus content like articles all the time, dropping articles constantly. Bonus content like videos. We'll be doing bonus live streams. We have our new Discord server that we're in, and you got to go to flockfantasy.com/endgame to get there. But also, we have tons more cool stuff planned. If you play Dynasty, we are planning on, I don't know when it will be, but like keep trade cut style things where you can look at players, how they're trending, what their value is in Dynasty, draft guides for those of you in season long for your redraft leagues during the season, special live streams, start sit shows, whatever during the season. You got to get in here. Blockfantasy.com/endgame. You get 30% off any subscription. Blockfantasy.com/endgame. Get in there. Okay. That out of the way. Let's get to some of the news that we've got going on. And let's start with, yes, the best news for Tony Pollard. I admit I've been a little, skeptical on Tony Pollard. I've had him just outside my top 12 running backs. But then the Cowboys went out and signed Ronald Jones, which is basically like signing me or you. It's like a non-factor, really. It's a non-factor. This guy couldn't even really get on the field for the Chiefs. It didn't matter who was hurt, who wasn't out there. He barely saw the field. He's not a very good running back. He's going to have no impact on this offense. Now, I know what you're saying. I know the comments are going to come. They're going to draft a running back. I know. Maybe, but maybe not. We are this close to Tony Pollard. Being at least at worst a top 10 running back, right? If let's say they don't draft a running back day 1, day 2, maybe they take like a day 3 running back, but not a real threat, right? What are we looking at? Christian McCaffrey, Austin Ekeler, who for the moment I still have at number 2. We're going to talk about him in a little bit here. Austin Ekeler at 2, JT at 3, Bijan at 4. That could obviously change depending on where Bijan lands. Barkley at 5. I don't know. And then you got maybe Jacobs, Walker, Henry. Those are kind of the next 3. And then I think I got to put Tony Pollard there. Like, who are you putting above Tony Pollard at that point? If we go into next season and all the Cowboys add are Ronald Jones and a day 3 running back or no running back in the draft, Tony Pollard should smash. He smashed at the end of last season when he started to get more work. He's an explosive guy. Home run, take it to the house, catch a decent amount of passes. I think right now he's definitely in my top 9, honestly, maybe even my top 8. We'll see. We'll see. And Young Money, what's up? I know you missed the draft tonight. Let me get my head on there. There we go. Cowboys offense looking pretty solid, but it won't look as nice once Washington trades for Lamar. I would love it. I would love it if they do, but I just don't see it. Tyler, okay, Tony Pollard to the moon, even with Ronald Jones. That's why it's to the moon, because Ronald Jones is basically a non-factor. He's a non-factor. Just got to dodge the draft. That's it. Just got to dodge the draft. Mr. Jones saying, as long as we got Dak, we were screwed. Maybe the Cowboys. Like, Dak's a good quarterback. He just needs to cut down the turnovers. But he's a good quarterback. And Humberto saying, being a Cowboy fan, I'm liking this free agency. Not bad so far for the Cowboys. Not bad. And then Rodriguez family saying, when Jerry says Bijan is a first-round pick, well, okay, yes. If they draft Bijan, which I really doubt they do, but it's Jerry Jones. You never know. He's a total wild card. You never know. If they draft Bijan, yes, you are right. Tony Pollard way down the rankings at that point. But for right now, he's just got to get through the draft. And look, here's the thing about drafting Bijan. It's not like the Cowboys have full control of that. If somebody above the Cowboys with a higher pick takes Bijan, there's nothing they can do. So There's definitely a path right now for Tony Pollard. You're having a monster year. And then Nate asking, if I sign up for fantasy, will the Patriots draft a non-bust wide receiver 1? Yes, because they won't draft one this year. They're just going to trade for them all. Because isn't that all the rumors? In fact, perfect segue into the next point. DeAndre Hopkins. Trade talks are reportedly ramping up for DeAndre Hopkins. And one of the teams linked to him is the Patriots, because the Patriots apparently are linked to every wide receiver that's a possibility to be traded. I heard they've been linked to like Jerry Jeudy, now DeAndre Hopkins. Also hearing maybe the Browns interested in DeAndre Hopkins, but it sounds like a lot of interest in DeAndre Hopkins. It sounds like the Cardinals want, I think, like a second-round pick for him. We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out pretty soon where he lands. I still predict the Giants. I think the Giants, they showed their hand when they traded for Darren Waller that, hey, we're winning. We're going for it right now. They have no problem picking up an old receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, who's still good. He's old, but he's still good. He's still a productive wide receiver. If you check out our most recent trade video, I said Giants. I don't know where Pierre said for Hopkins. I forget where he said. You'll have to go watch it. I don't remember. Jim K saying Hopkins to the Chiefs. Oh man, that would be over the top. I mean, if Hopkins went to the Chiefs, where do we have to rank Hopkins? Like, is he a top 10 fantasy wide receiver at that point? I mean, for real, because who else do they have? They don't really have anybody. Yeah. And then going back to Pollard. Oops. Okay, so Stinger saying, of course, he'd love D-Hop on the Giants because he's a Giants fan, as you can see by his Odell jersey from the Giants days, not from the Browns days or the Rams days. Chavi saying, do we really think Pollard is going to be back to full form after the injury? I think it's going to be a factor. He didn't tear his ACL or anything, right? It was just like an ankle injury. I think he'll be okay. I haven't heard anything that would make me think he won't be. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll have enough time. Yeah, you're right. Stinger, you're right. I think Pierre did say Patriots, which is one of the teams that are rumored for Hopkins. They're rumored for Jeudy. It's weird. Like, they're rumored for every wide receiver. I guess Bill Belichick has decided, you know what? I can't draft. I'm not good at drafting wide receivers. I'm just going to trade for him. It's kind of what Howie Roseman did, right? For a long time. I mean, he did land on Devonta Smith, so that was good. But a lot of busts at wide receiver. He finally said, screw it. Let me just go trade for A.J. Brown. And then Crackshot saying D-Hop to the Bears. I think that makes a lot of sense too, because the Bears, I talked about this in the video, even though I had them going for Sutton, because I just feel like Sutton, he's younger and he probably won't require, he definitely won't require a second round pick from the Broncos, I don't think. But they need an X receiver. They need it because DJ Moore is a guy you want to line up all over. You want to get him in space. The Panthers, Matt Rule tried to make him an X receiver. He's not. So I think the Bears do try to go out and get an X receiver. Hopkins definitely makes sense if they're okay taking on, a 30, what is he going to be, a 31-year-old? I think he's going to be 31 this year, a 31-year-old Hopkins, which I don't know if they're ready to do that. I think Sutton makes a little more sense for them, but we'll see. And then Tyler saying Hopkins to the Patriots would be a fantasy death sentence. I don't know about a death sentence, but it definitely would drop him way down for me. Probably like wide receiver 3 range, honestly. Just not a wide receiver friendly situation at all. I love when people say it was just an ankle injury, as if ankle fracture and tightrope surgery is nothing. But we've seen guys come back from this, right? Like it's not like ACL where they need a year, or Achilles where it's like never. I think we've seen guys come back from this. So Slayer asking, is Pollard going to get goal line carries or get Vulture again to limit his carries? He may get Vultured at the goal line depending on who they have. It won't be Ronald Jones vulturing him, that's for sure. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But look, he's good. He can take goal line carries too. I don't know. We'll see. And Stinger saying, why does everyone think the Bears are going to get a receiver? Moore and Mooney will be a really solid tandem. I mean, if they believe in Darnell Mooney, yes, but I kind of feel like Darnell Mooney and DJ Moore do a lot of the same things. So I really do feel like they need an X receiver, a true X receiver. So All right, let's see. Let's keep it going here. The next one. Okay, so this is Austin Ekeler. So let me hide the comment, and I'll hide myself. So Austin Ekeler, if you didn't see it today, was on a podcast talking about his trade request, and this is what he said. So I think it's really important to put it out there that it's not like, oh, I hate the Chargers and I need to get out of this organization and I need to leave. That couldn't be further from the truth. I would like to stay if it was under the right circumstances. Obviously, I think this is big, right? But I think this sentence right here is really big. Obviously, I have one more year on my contract there, so I'm contractually obligated to play for them for this upcoming year. We'll come back to that. I think that's a big sentence. So we're in a situation where it's like, look, we have no guarantees or anything like that this year. So kind of in a spot where I've been outplaying my contract, which is true. And we might have an opportunity to go seek out other options that can bring me up. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to that sentence. Obviously, I have one more year on my contract there, so I'm contractually obligated to play for them for this upcoming year. I think this is big because it sounds to me like Austin Ekeler has no plans of holding out. So even if they don't work out an extension and he doesn't find a willing trade partner, it sounds to me like he'll just suck it up and play for the Chargers. So that's big. So it sounds like we don't have to worry about any holdout issues. And look, I get it for Ekeler. Like he's going to make like $6 million this year, which, for as good as he's been the last 2 years, he should get paid more. But I also get like teams like the Chargers not wanting to pay him. I get that too. So we'll see what happens there. But I thought that was interesting that he did say that about he's contractually obligated to play for them for this upcoming year, which to me makes it sound like he's not going to hold out. He's either going to be on the Chargers, he's going to play for the Chargers, either under his current deal or with an extension, or he's going to play for another team if they can work out a trade. All right, so let's see. Nobody has anything for Ekeler? No Ekeler questions or concern. We're just talking about Pollard still. Okay, we'll get back to those. All right, next up, how about this one? Cam Newton is back. He's back. He threw at the Auburn Pro Day today, and he tweeted out something like, there aren't 32 quarterbacks better than me. Like, 32. Okay, well, you're saying you're a starting quarterback in the league, but you might be like a bad starting quarterback, but I don't know. He threw at his pro day. He had like this one amazing throw, but he also had some bad throws. I don't think a team is going to sign Cam Newton, at least not to be their starter. Maybe a team will sign him to be a backup, but I don't know if he wants to be a backup. So, yeah, I don't really think we're going to see Cam Newton in the NFL this year, even if he wants to be. Cam's arm definitely not the same. Definitely not the same. I don't think. Yeah. Young Money saying, Cam is washed like jeans. He's awful. He needs to sit down and shut his trap. I mean, yeah, he's pretty bad. And then Nate saying, Cam Newton sees himself as a Jimmy G equivalent. I think right now Jimmy G is better. I think I would rather have Jimmy G on my team than Cam Newton. But I thought it was interesting. Yeah, he's out there. He was throwing at the Auburn Pro Day, which Tank Bigsby did participate in. They said he ran like a mid 4.4, but I don't know. I'm going to go with what he ran with at the combine. So anyways, yeah, I don't expect Cam Newton to be on an NFL team this year. And then some kind of minor ones here. Isaiah McKenzie signed with the Colts. It doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, it makes me feel he's going to be in the Paris Campbell role, right, out of the slot. Makes me feel good about Alec Pierce as a potential year 2 breakout. Like they didn't go and bring in, they didn't go trade for a wide receiver. They didn't sign anybody of consequence. So, yeah. But Isaiah McKenzie, whether it's Lamar, whether it's a rookie quarterback, whether it's Gardner Minshew, I don't care. McKenzie, and he is what he is. He's one of these guys once or twice a season will show up, and that's pretty much it. So not really on McKenzie at all there. So is Cam, Mr. Jones, is Cam better than Deshaun? Definitely not. I expect a good year from Deshaun this year. I expect Deshaun to bounce back in a major way this year. So, yeah, definitely not better than Deshaun. Yeah, Isaiah, meh. Kenzie, pretty much. That's a good name for him. He's just kind of meh. He's like one of those guys, right, where it's like if you're in a deep enough league or you're really desperate, you have a bunch of guys on bye, and he's on the waiver wire, and you're in a PPR league, it's like, okay, I'll throw him in and hope he scores a touchdown or catches like 5 or 6 passes, but that's really it. All right, let's get back to some of these other questions that weren't on topic at the time. Let's see. Did you see Daniel Jeremiah mock that had the pass taken? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why would the Patriots take Bijan? Like, why would they take Bijan? I don't get it. I don't think that doesn't feel like a Bill Belichick move to me at all. Like a running back in the first round, I don't see it. I don't see it. Young Money, is Damian Harris the back to have in Buffalo, or is it James Cook? Both? Can it be both? I think I like them both. I like them both if they stay, like their ADPs kind of stay around where they are. I like Damian Harris as the touchdown upside, but not going to really catch any passes. Kind of like a better Devin Singletary. So you're going to have some, but Devin Singletary did catch a decent amount of passes, actually. So I should take that back. Like a better Devin Singletary as far as running the ball, more touchdown upside. James Cook, more the explosive guy, will probably get more of the receptions here. Man, maybe this helps James Cook a little bit because Devin Singletary did catch quite a few passes. So like that part's gone. I kind of like them both, actually. Kind of like them both. So Stinger saying Bijan is going to the Bills or Philly. The Bills. I don't know about the Bills. I don't think he'll drop far enough for the Bills. And would they trade up for him? Philly is the one. I guess he went and he visited. He had a meeting with Philly today. I still don't see it. I don't see Howie Roseman taking a running back in the first round. But maybe he looks at the roster. They have 2 first-round picks. Maybe he looks at the roster and says, you know what? We can afford to take Bijan. We'll see. That would definitely be interesting for Penny, for Bijan. Interesting situation there. Kind of hope he doesn't go to Philly, but we'll see. Aquavision, Jets plan B. They don't have a plan B. Plan B is Zach Wilson, or I don't know. Maybe Cam Newton. Maybe Cam Newton will be their plan B. Was that what you were asking? Like Cam Newton's their plan B? Maybe Cam Newton will be their plan B. I don't know. No plan B. They have to get Aaron Rodgers. They have to. They're pot committed to Aaron Rodgers. They've got to do it, whatever it takes. All right, Co Blue, bring the tough question. Who would you rather start, Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield, or Sam Darnold as the Commanders QB? Easily Sam Darnold. Easily Sam Darnold. At least, like Baker Mayfield, terrible. Cam Newton is just basically a runner now. At least Sam Darnold showed a little something, and you can protect Sam Darnold. You can just keep like just don't kill us. Don't throw interceptions. We'll lean on the defense. But yeah, really the answer is none of the above. Sam Howell. Sam Howell is the answer. Stinger, what QB do you think Colts will draft? Levy's are AR-15. Well, video I think will drop on Sunday. We kind of talk about this. Should I spoil it or not? I think they go with Levy's or Levi's or however you pronounce his name, if they draft QB at 4. Because I think they like him. He's the kind of QB that NFL teams look at and say, if we can just fix this, he'll be great because he's got that cannon arm. You can't teach the cannon arm. He's got that cannon arm. So they figure if we can just fix his decision making, his timing, this other stuff, he'll be great. I think the Colts go for him at 4 because I think Stroud and Young go 1-2, and I think the Colts go for him at 4 is my bet, but we shall see. You never know. You never know how these teams are going to do. I agree. Mr. Jones, hit the like, y'all. Hit the like if you haven't already. Fantasy Dog, I don't know what you're asking here. You're like number 9 like, and then you're saying Tony Light, RB3's right with the question. Fantasy Dog, I don't know what you're trying to ask here. I don't get it. Reword it for me, please. All right, Nate, are there any running backs that are currently perceived to be RB3 on their team that you think have a chance to have a bigger role? I haven't dove into this yet, but there's got to be. I mean, there's got to be, like, let's think. Like, Who are some of the RB3s? I'm trying to go down in my head, like some of these teams that are RB3s, because it happens every year, right? We get RB3s every year, come out of nowhere and play well. Like, who are some RB3s? Anybody got any? I'm trying to think. I'm going like through teams in my head, trying to think who the RB3 is on there, and then it's like, do I kind of like them or not? I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'd have to go through. There's got to be some. There's got to be. There's just got to be. Let me look on. Let me look. Like underdog, ADP. Give you some guys I like later. Let's take a look at running back. So let's see. I don't know if any of these guys are running back 3s necessarily. I mean, yeah, there's not really a lot actually now that I look. I don't know. That's a tough question. We'll have to see how it shakes out after the draft. But there are definitely guys we're not thinking about right now that are going to pop off at some point, because they always do. And Co Blue asking, can we assume Pollard will be mostly cooked for at least 2023 if Bijan is drafted by Dallas? Yeah. He still would be okay. He'll still have some value, but he goes back. Like I would be like, think back to Pollard maybe like 3 or 4 years ago when Zeke was still good. That's kind of how I would see it. All right, it's just Jay. I have 3 definite keepers. I'm just up in the air for the 4th and final keeper. Current keepers are Burrow, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson. Deciding between Ramondre, Tony Pollard, or Pitt. Right now, I would say Pollard. But hopefully you can wait till after the draft, because it could be Ramondre. Like if the Patriots don't do anything at running back, then and the Cowboys do, then it would be Ramondre. So hopefully you can wait till after the draft. This is close. This is close for me because they could both see their value change after the draft. But I think right now I would go Pollard. I think he's just has more upside than Ramondre. Samuel Nash asking, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young to start our franchise? I like CJ Stroud a little better. I think he just has more of what you need in the NFL. I think Bryce Young could develop. I don't think Bryce Young needs to like sit for a year. I think Bryce Young could develop during his rookie year. But I think CJ Stroud is ready to go right now. So I'm going to go with CJ Stroud. I talked about this a little bit. How do you like Damian Harris's bill? Because they didn't go after, well, they still could go after those guys, but probably less likely now. But I like Damian Harris. He's a good running back. He'll have chances to score. He won't catch any passes. But, I like him. I like him there in the later rounds. He's not a guy, like I'm not all excited about him in the single digit rounds, but in the later rounds, like if you go 0 RB, I think he's a great running back target. Fantasy wise, what is the best place for Bijan? So if we're talking like the best place, like it does like just like perfect world, who cares? It would be like the Chiefs. I gotta say it would be the Chiefs, or maybe the Chargers if they trade Ekeler or something like that, where he's gonna be in a crazy good offense and just have lots of opportunity. But if we're talking realistic, I think Atlanta is the best spot for Bijan. They have the number 8 pick. So, I mean, they may be willing to say, hey, let's take Bijan in the top 10, or maybe they trade back. They have an incredible offensive line. They have a coach that wants to just run the ball as much as they can. And look, say what you want about Tyler Algier. He was nice down the stretch, but he's nothing special. Bijan will make him irrelevant. So I'd love to see him in Atlanta. That's where I think would be a great spot for him. UGA fan here. Any Fromm love? No. How long has Fromm been in the league for, by the way? I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it. Brian asking, miss opening the stream, why Pollard to the moon? I'll do real quick. It's because they only signed Ronald Jones. But if you want to watch it, if you want to see all of what I said, you can go back and watch it after it's done. But I'll just say Ronald Jones. That's why Tony Pollard to the moon. Ronald Jones. Actually, this is a good one. Pierre Strong. So you were trying to set me up. Pierre Strong. Yes, definitely. Now that Damian Harris is gone, he could definitely see some value, especially if they don't do anything at running back. Jordan Mason. Yeah, maybe. He didn't really even get on the field last year, so I don't know. Maybe Tyler Algier after they draft Bijan. You know what? I thought, okay, Chris Evans crossed my mind, but he's kind of like the RB2 now. He's not even the RB3 anymore because Samaje Perine is gone, but he did cross my mind. So did Hassan Haskins, but he's the RB2 as well. Those guys crossed my mind, but then I'm like, well, they're technically not the RB3s anymore. They're the RB2s. So, yeah, but he did cross my mind. Breida, again, I look at Breida as like an RB2, but certainly Breida's a great handcuff. But again, I look at him as the RB2 on the Giants. So Nate asked me RB3s because Nate can't just ask softball. He can't just throw all the softball questions like, who are some handcuff running backs? Like, no. Who are some RB3s? Surprised he didn't ask me like RB6s. Like, Nate bringing the tough questions. Harris and Cook, Buffalo, RB3s, right? Like, you mean like if you're drafting them as your RB3, yes, I think that's okay. I think it's okay if you're drafting them as your RB3. It's just Jay saying Eno Benjamin. Man, I'd like to say Eno Benjamin. Wait, where is Eno Benjamin even playing now? Because he got released by the Cardinals, and then where did he end up signing? And then it was like he just disappeared. He had like those 2 games, and then he just disappeared. I don't even know where Eno Benjamin is playing anymore. Where's he at? Okay, I did actually think about Boston Scott, but I think Boston Scott needs injuries. Like, I think he would need injuries. So, but I did think about Boston Scott because he's probably one of the most relevant RB3s at the moment. He did cross my mind as well. Oh man, Zonovan Knight, nah, he was awful last year. Awful. Even when like nobody was like, he was barely getting run at the end. He's really there's a reason why he was not on Zonovan Knight. Chance Robinson takes a backseat to Pollard in the beginning. I mean, maybe, but probably not. Probably not. You don't draft a running back in the first round and then have him sit behind your franchise tag running back. That just makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to take a first round running back when you have a franchise tag running back anyways, but I don't see it. I think maybe it would be like 50-50 and then Bijan would eventually just take over. All right. Finally, we can stop talking about Bijan and RB3s. Huntsberry, Jay Huntsberry, what's up? What do you think about Cam Akers? I like Cam Akers. I think he's a good kind of just outside the dead zone-ish running back. Well, let's see. Where is he going on? In our drafts, he's kind of outside the dead zone. Where's he going on Underdog? Let me see. Yeah, his ADP is 81 on Underdog, so that's what, round, what is that, 7-ish? I don't know if my math is any good. About 7, right? Around 7-ish, something like that. I think he's a good value. Rams can't really do much at running. It's not like the Rams can make a splash at running back. They don't really have draft capital. They can't really make a trade. So he's probably going to be the guy. Aquavision, Kyle Pitts, bounce back season? Maybe? Possibly? Hopefully? Who knows? I think he's worth the risk though where he's going now. He's dropped so far. Like, people have overreacted so much on him. Right, he's going pick 63. I think he's worth the gamble. I'll say that. Oh, man, you guys got tough questions tonight. Crackshot, who will be the wide receiver 1 with the current roster in KC? Well, assuming Travis Kelce doesn't count as a wide receiver 1, I don't even know. Is MVS even under contract? Like, who do they even have under like, I guess Tony if he's healthy? But what did they sign? Because I know Hardman's a free agent. Okay, so they did give MVS a 3-year deal. Man, he was so bad. I know Hardman, I think, is a free agent. I don't think he's going to be back. We know Juju's not back. I guess Tony, if he can actually stay healthy and get on the field. But they got to do something at wide receiver, right? Whether it's draft a wide receiver, sign a wide receiver, trade for a wide receiver, they got to do something. All right, so who's the next QB after Young, Stroud, Levy's, and AR-15? Ask me after the draft. No, it's probably Hooker, I guess. Hendon Hooker, be my guess. That'd be my guess. My guess is he'll be the next QB drafted. But we're getting to the point where it's probably not going to matter because he's probably going to go maybe end late day 2, maybe late day 2. But that's my guess. Would be Hooker. I like him. I think he's good. I think he's somewhat talented. Aren't you worried about LA Rams offense? Stafford, O-line, ADP wise, Akers, Cup. It's close in my opinion. Cup, I'm not worried about because we saw it last year. Stafford, Cup, Cup's gonna be awesome every game with Stafford as long as he's healthy. Certainly got to worry about the O-line a little bit with Akers. Hopefully they improve it. But also when you're talking about a running back in the 7th round who's gonna get 15 plus carries and catch a couple passes, hard to find guys like that. So, yeah, definitely worried about the O-line. Hopefully they improve it, but I still think Akers good value where he's going. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm glad to hear that you met Stetson. I don't know. Senior didn't put up like incredible numbers. I mean, he'll get drafted, but I think he'll get drafted probably day 3. I don't have high hopes for him at the next level. All right, Nate, with a tough question again. Are there any wide receivers who underperformed last year who you think are worth a shot this year? Thinking guys like Sky, Tyquan, Bell, I guess Burks qualifies well. If we're only talking about rookies from last year, not David Bell. I did not see enough from David Bell to feel good about him. And now there's talk they're trying to add a wide receiver. Don't like what I saw from David Bell. Sky Moore is interesting if he can make the leap. So I did have my video, my top 14 second-year breakout wide receivers, even though it should have been top 15 because I forgot Jameson Williams. But Sky is interesting because if he can make the leap, if he can make a leap and get better, he's in the best situation of any second-year wide receiver. He basically be like the best wide receiver on the Chiefs. So no one's in a better situation. But can he make? Was not impressed by him last year. Got to remember he came from a small school. Maybe year 2. Look, it's crazy how things have changed. Because I remember back in the day, it was like year 3. That was you gave a wide receiver, year 3. You gave him 3 years to develop. Now it's like, oh, they weren't good as a rookie. Get rid of them. They're done. They're out of here. You're not good as a rookie. Get out. Tyquan, I don't know. He's stuck in the Patriots. I don't really see it. Burks, I could see, depending on what they do at quarterback. Do they just and running back? Like, do they just stick with Tannehill and Derrick Henry again and run this terrible offense where they run the ball 25 times and barely throw it? Then I don't know. It's gonna be tough for Burks. But if they decide to, I guess, retool, I don't know what they could do at quarterback now, but maybe add some weapons, try to open up the passing game more. I could see it for Burks. I haven't heard anything about Dearness Johnson. Yeah. Or Kareem Hunt either. That's really surprising to me. I mean, Kareem Hunt was bad last year, but still, I would think there'd be a team that would look at his track record and take a chance, but apparently not. So we got Eno is in Houston, I think, and then right below that, Benjamin is in the Saints, so nobody knows where Eno Benjamin is. I don't know. Somebody put an APB out for All Points Bulletin out for Eno Benjamin. Somebody find Eno Benjamin. Where is he? All right, Nate also staying in New Orleans, so he must be in New Orleans. Okay, well, I guess he's technically the running back 3 there because Jamal Kamara, assuming he doesn't miss the whole season, and Eno Benjamin. So, okay, I guess he's the running back 3 there. I have no interest, though. No interest. I like to see Sky as good sleeper, and I like to see more to the moon. But I need to see him take that step forward. But look, I definitely think he's worth the gamble, especially like in a dynasty league. If you can go out and trade for Sky Moore, and all you have to give up is say maybe a 3rd round rookie pick or maybe even a 4th round rookie pick, it's worth it. It's worth the gamble because, like I said, if he does progress year 2 here, even look at a guy like Devontae Adams. Look at his first 2 years. Like let me pull it up. Devontae Adams, he wasn't that good his first 2 years. Let me share it. So here's Devontae Adams' stats. So year 1, 38 catches, 446 yards. Year 2, 50 for 483. I remember people were like, yeah, he's a bust. He's a bust. Then he got better year 3, 75, 90, 97, 74, 80, 85, and then he went nuts after that. So, I mean, Sky Moore's in a great situation. So definitely worth the gamble in dynasty leagues, and probably even late in best ball and redraft. Am I a Madden player? Not anymore. I think the last time I played Madden was like 94, 95, something like that. I don't really play video games anymore. So not a Madden player. Royland, give the Chiefs, Mike. Give the Chiefs everybody. Just give them everybody. I do think Mike Evans makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs, because if the Bucs decide like, hey, we're not contending this year, let's try to move Mike Evans. He's 30 years old. Chiefs say, hey, give him to us. We'll take him. We'll take him. Ooh, Chiefs could have drafted A.J. Brown and Jonathan Taylor over C.H. and McCole Hardman. You're right, but it doesn't even matter because Mahomes is a guy. Like, imagine any other team drafting C.H. and McCole Hardman instead of A.J. Brown and JT, and then still winning Super Bowls. That's a Mahomes factor. Crazy how good he is. Yeah, glad you got in the draft tonight. Oh, so you were Rob Rockley. All right, we know who Rob Rockley was. It was Royland. Glad you got in the draft. By the way, guys, that's another reason, flockfantasy.com/endgame. You get first priority access to our drafts, plus all that other stuff. So if you go there and you subscribe to any subscription, month to month, year subscription, whatever, 30% off. Not only do you get all the other cool stuff I mentioned in the beginning, the bonus articles, the bonus live streams, the bonus videos, rankings, the stuff we have coming. If you're a Dynasty player, we got awesome stuff coming for Dynasty. We're going to have draft guides for season long. We're going to help you all season, of course. But you also get first priority to the mock drafts. You don't have to. I think we had 40 people. When I posted the link for the mock draft tonight, we had like 40 people in there. Like, we only had 9 spots left. Those aren't good odds. Those are terrible odds. So if you want to just stress-free, guarantee in the mock drafts, we do them every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And as we get closer to the season, we'll do them even more often. We'll start doing Dynasty ones, all that stuff. Check it out, flockfantasy.com/endgame. All right. D-Hop to the Browns. That's one of the rumors. Yes. I don't know if it'll happen, but that's one of the rumors. KC does not have a lot of cap space, but they could trade for somebody, right? They could trade for a D-Hop. They could trade for a Mike Evans. I mean, they could do it. They can make a trade and say, hey, because the Chiefs aren't a team that they're not a team saying, hey, they're not like the Bears, who are a young team trying to rebuild, or like the Panthers, who are going to have a young quarterback. The Chiefs are trying to win now every single year, so they could take on an older guy. Although I know Hopkins is due a lot of money, but there's always ways to work it. Tyler asking, is Christian Watson going to do good without Rodgers? I think so. I like what I saw from Christian Watson last year. I don't think it matters. I also think Jordan Love is going to be better than people think. I don't think he's going to be Aaron Rodgers good. At least not. But look, Aaron Rodgers wasn't even very good last year. He was just okay. So, yeah. I think Christian Watson will be great. Stinger saying, I've heard Hunt might go back to the Browns. I mean, yeah, he might just have to at this point, because it doesn't sound like there's any teams interested in him. So, yes, Tony Pollard is an astronaut. He's going to the moon. He's going to score a bunch of fantasy points too. And then look, But plot twist. We got a plot twist right here. I'm finally in on DJ Moore, and Nate is like, I'm finally out. I'm out at cost. What's wrong with DJ Moore in the fourth? You guys have been drafting DJ Moore in the fourth round for like 3 straight years, getting burned year after year. Now he's finally in the a good value in the fourth round, and now you don't want to draft him? What's wrong with DJ Moore in the fourth round? That's right. I forgot. Yes. Devontae Adams struggled early in his career. People thought he was going to be a bust. So just goes to show you, you can't give up on these wide receivers year one. Stinger, I don't know how Evans managed 1,000 yards either, especially with those brutal drops. Yeah. All right. Young Money with a dynasty question. Christian Watson, the 1.12 and a future second, or Deshaun in 3 wide receivers super flex? Ooh. Ooh. That's pretty close, actually. I think it comes down to what you need. Like, are you hurting a quarterback? Do you badly need a quarterback? And I think the Deshaun side is okay here because the 1.12, maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't. A future second, whatever. I do like Christian Watson, but it's super flex having that young. He's still young. Deshaun Watson is still young. So if you need a quarterback, I would go with Deshaun. If you're stacked at QB, maybe Deshaun's like your QB3 or QB4. Maybe you traded for him when he was like going through all that stuff and you got him relatively cheap. I'd say I would go ahead and take Christian Watson's side. But this feels like a pretty good deal, honestly. Pretty good deal. All right, we got another keeper question from Nick. Trying to decide on a final keeper. Lose 1 round of picks, okay, per keeper, round 1 through 5. We'll be keeping Burrow, Higgins, Saquon, and Ramondre. So who do I go for our 5th keeper? Burks or Pittman? I still got to go. Well, I don't know. I mean, like the same round for these guys? You'll lose 1 round of picks. So you're going to lose. So this is going to be your 5th round pick, I assume, is what you're saying? I would still go Pittman. I mean, Burks really needs something to change there in Tennessee, in my opinion, for him to make a major leap this year. Pittman at least hopefully will have a better QB. I mean, worst case scenario, Pittman has Gardner Minshew, and like that's not great, but at least Gardner Minshew is serviceable. So worst case he has Minshew, best case he has Lamar, in between case he has a rookie like Levy's or something. I'm gonna go with Pittman. Dalton Schultz, anyone? Not really me, but yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Whatever, he's fine. So Nate's saying, I just can't have DJ Moore on my team when he does well. It wouldn't feel right after all the. I feel like you deserve DJ Moore on your team doing well. Concerned the Bears won't throw the ball. So I remember this was the concern with the Eagles last year when they went out and traded for A.J. Brown. People were like, oh, the Eagles aren't going to throw the ball. But the thing is, if you look at the Bears last year, they couldn't really throw the ball because who are they going to throw the ball to? Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, Grandpa Velas. Like they had nobody to throw the ball to. They just added DJ Moore. They may add another wide receiver. They may improve the offensive line. I think they throw the ball more this year. I really do. I think they throw the ball more. So I like DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore. I'm finally in on him. Maybe it's my turn to get burned. All right, Stinger with the somewhat spicy take. Watson, meaning Christian Watson, is going to be the next Adams in Green Bay in the future. I'm calling it. I need a humble brag too. Okay, I don't know, what does that mean? A humble brag for what? Like if you're right, like down the road, if you're right, you can humble brag. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so Ryan, I'm late. Pollard broke his leg and had ankle surgery. There's a lot of optimism in fantasy circles, but things seem cloudy. They get Bijan. Welcome to 2022, Pollard. Welcome to Deja Vu. We talked about all this for the first about 15 minutes or so. I haven't heard anything that like he shouldn't be ready to go week 1. I mean, sure, certainly if we start hearing things, I'll lose my optimism. Obviously, if they draft Bijan, I'll also lose my optimism. But like I said, it's not just the Cowboys' choice to draft Bijan. Bijan has to still be on the board when it's the Cowboys' pick, or they have to try to trade up, which is not easy. So until it happens, I'm all in on Pollard for right now. For right now, at least. Eagles were 19th in pass over expectation, but I don't know if your stats can split it. Check second half versus first half. Remember, look, credit to Nick Sirianni. Because when he first took over for the Eagles with Jalen Hurts that first year, they were throwing the ball a ton, and it wasn't working. Remember, they were throwing it like 4. That's why Jalen Hurts was just crushing in fantasy, because it was the whole offense was just Jalen Hurts, either throwing or running. Second half of the season, they ran the ball a lot more, they threw it a lot less, and they started winning, and they made the playoffs. So they might have been 19th over expectation, but I bet you a lot of that was weighted from the first half of the season that year. I don't know if you can check the split, but I'll bet you second half of the season they were pretty far down there. And yeah, Bears 32nd, but I mean, again, they had no passing, and then their offensive line was terrible. They had no passing, no weapons. So yeah. All right, Goomba Goomba bringing the humble brag. My hot take stood. I rode with Hawk over Andrews all season, and he led me to a championship. Yes, he did. Well done. Humble brag for Goomba Goomba. Slayer, Fields or Burrow as QB4? I still have Burrow right now. By the way, the Bengals have improved their offensive line a lot. That offensive line is going to be really good. If the Bears continue to improve the offensive line and give Fields another real weapon, like a Hopkins type or something like that, then I'll bump Fields over him. But right now, I've got Burrow 4, Fields 5. All right, well, there's Stinger's humble. It's humble brag time. Stinger, last offseason, I said Christian Watson was going to be a top 5 rookie wide receiver, and no one believed me due to his drops. Props to you, Stinger. Humble brag. All right, and then Terry Green. Oh, no, you're still one of those guys that thinks Lamar is still going to get signed, traded elsewhere, get off the dumb train, and understand that he'll be a Raven and play on the tag this year. I mean, that's the most likely scenario. Yes, that's the most likely scenario. But, look, a team could do it. I mean, the options are there. It doesn't mean the Ravens won't match, right? It doesn't mean the Ravens won't match and say, no, he's staying here. But yeah, but okay. All right, thank you for that. Bears average 152 passing yards per game this year. Yes, yes, I get it. I get all that. They're gonna throw more. They're gonna what did like, let's look at Jalen Hurts' stats. Look at these game logs. Let's look at these game logs for 2021. So here was Jalen Hurts after week 7. 14 pass attempts, 17 pass attempts, 23, 24, 31, 129 yards, by the way, 26, 29, 26. Let's look at weeks 1 through 7. 35, 23, 39, 48, 37, 26, 34. They did not throw the ball in the second half at all. And here's his yardage from week 8 on. 103, 162, 170. These are passing yards. 178, 147, 129, 296, randomly out of nowhere. Against the Commanders, by the way. 199, 214. Like, they did not throw the ball the second half. If you were to look at their second half, I bet you they only average like 150 passing yards per game. Look, teams have to play with what they have. They have to play with what they have. The Bears will throw more this year. They will throw more. Crack shot 30-22. Mechie is looking like a solid sleeper. I like Nico better. I do like Mechie very deep. But I do have to be a little bit worried about Mechie because, again, leukemia, didn't have a rookie season, basically a rookie now. But yes, in deep leagues, he's definitely a sleeper. But I like Nico a little bit more. Yeah, Bears have a totally new coaching staff. They're obviously retooling this offense. Look, the Eagles went from one of the run-heaviest teams to one of the pass-heaviest. Well, I don't know if they were one of the pass-heaviest, but they threw the ball more. Things change fast in the NFL, and you got to be able to see it coming. You got to be able to see it coming. Jim K is saying the Ravens aren't much now, but they're nothing without Lamar. That is true. They need Lamar. And I really do think unless somebody gives Lamar a ridiculous contract, like a Deshaun Watson type contract, where it's like, here's $200 million fully guaranteed, I think the Ravens will match it. I think what the Ravens did was said, look, go, let's see what the market is for you. Here you go. Let's see what kind of offers you get. But I think they'll more than likely they will match, unless again it's like a Deshaun Watson offer. Stroud to Mechie could be nice. Yes, Stroud to Nico could be very nice though. But I do like Mechie. I like Mechie. This is what people said about the Eagles and stuff. What if they upgrade by 75%? Where are they at then? What if they go by 75%? Because they're like, look, we have a better offensive line. Justin Fields, year 3. We have DJ Moore, plus we have DeAndre Hopkins, or we have DJ Moore, plus we have whoever. Like, they could go up by a lot. I mean, I think you're reading too much into this. They, they're going to throw the ball more. They're going to throw the ball more. But hey, look, maybe this is my year to get burned from DJ. After all the years of telling people, don't draft DJ Moore, don't draft DJ Moore. Maybe now it's my turn to get burned. But I really do think they're going to throw the ball more. I mean, I think the odds are pretty good that they can throw the ball 75% more because they threw it so little last year. That's not a huge increase. It's not like they're a team that threw the ball 35 times a game. Like, what is 75%? Like 10 extra passes a game, 8 extra passes a game? Like, let's see. Let's see here. Where do the Bears rank? The Bears attempted 22.2 attempts per game. What is 75? Oops. Okay, so that'd be 16 attempts. That would put them pretty high up there. So maybe 75 is a stretch. But what if they go up by 50%? Now they're throwing the ball 33 times a game. That's only 11 extra attempts. It's only 11 extra attempts. It's not like a huge number. That's the thing. They're so far down. Like, you can't win. You can't win throwing the ball 22 times in this NFL. You just can't do it. You can't. And they know that. They're going to throw the ball more. They are. You don't go out and trade for DJ Moore and bolster the offensive line just to run the ball a bunch. They're going to throw it more. They are. They will. This might be the truest thing said tonight. They'll throw the ball 100% more. It'll all end up going to Claypool because fantasy football exists to make us miserable. Facts. It won't be DJ Moore. It won't be like whatever wide receiver. It'll be Chase Claypool. Will have some monster year or something crazy. Slayer, does CD take a step back with Cooks? He was a target monster last season. I don't think so. I talked about it last night. What Cooks does, like the more vertical stuff, and what CD does, which is basically everything else, which is everything really. I think CD will still be a target monster. Remember, Dalton Schultz is gone. Noah Brown is gone. Yeah, I think he's still going to be a target monster. I love CD. He's my number 5 wide receiver. Ooh, Stinger even higher than me. He said top 3 for CD. I like it. I like it. Yes, Bryce did play with Mechie at Alabama. So there is that connection. Definitely that connection there. Pump the brakes on Khalil Herbert. They signed Foreman. Yeah, I think you got to pump the brakes a little bit because Foreman was good last year. Foreman was actually, if you look at it, I talked about this last night too. Foreman had, I think, a few less carries than Montgomery and a little more yards. So he was actually slightly better than Montgomery. Yeah, I do think that you got to pump the brakes a little bit on Khalil Herbert because Foreman, at least, because neither of these guys are going to catch many passes. So if they eat into each other's, like if they're splitting the early down work, that's going to hurt both of them. So yeah, I do think you got to pump the brakes a little bit. So Terry's saying people forget the Bears were playing for the 101 by the end of the season and they cashed in on it thanks to Carolina. Yeah, I mean, they're going to throw the ball more. You can't 22 pass attempts in today's NFL. Like, come on. They're going to throw it more. Young Money's saying Bears offense is going to have to be historic for DJ Moore to get 1,000 yards. Fields run for 1,000 yards. Herbert run for 1,000 yards. Well, Herbert's not running for 1,000 yards, so we can scratch that one. We can scratch that one. He's not running for 1,000 yards. Not with Foreman there. But they could have, I mean, DJ Moore could go for 1,000 yards and Fields could still run for 1,000. How many yards didn't Smith and AJ Brown have 1,000 yards, over 1,000 yards? And Hurts, I mean, he didn't run for 1,000, but he ran for like 800, didn't he? Like 800, and he missed 2 games. There's enough. There's enough for these guys. There's enough. This is true. Cooks won't be bad for CD, but he'll be good for Dak. Yes, people are way too low on Dak this year. He's one of my favorite value quarterbacks in all four, even in Dynasty, in all formats. One of my favorite value quarterbacks. Oh man, okay. I'm talking you guys into targeting Fields and all. I'm just telling you where I like Fields. You don't have to follow me. I'm wrong. I was wrong on Najee last year. I get things wrong, so don't just blindly follow me. But I would be willing to take like I said last night. I'm not taking, even though I'm on early QB, that doesn't mean first or second round. I'll start considering Jalen Hurts or Mahomes in the third round. If it's towards the end of the third round, like coming to that 3-4 turn, and maybe there's like 4 or 5 guys, like wide receivers, running backs that I like, and I feel like one of them will come back to me, maybe I'd go with one of the QBs there, maybe depending on the format. But I'd prefer to wait till like round 4 or round 5 to draft a quarterback. I still can't go that early on QB. I know they're like in underdog drafts, I think they're going in like round 2. Like, aren't they going in round 2 or something? It's crazy. Like, yeah, like Josh Allen as an ADP of 18. That is just way too high to me. Way too high to me. I can't do it. Round 4 is where I'll start considering it. Or like I said, that 3-4 turn where maybe there's only like 4 or 5 guys left that I like. I figure one can come back, grab one of those QBs. Yeah, Ferguson seems to be the guy to have interested in at tight end for Dallas, assuming they don't do anything. Yeah, then I'll like Ferguson. Talked about this early in the show for like 2 minutes. Yeah, whatever. Like, it just makes me feel better about Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman because they didn't go and get like a bona fide true wide receiver, but not on McKenzie at all. They asking, when you were housing raw broccoli by the pound, I don't know if it was by the pound. I think it was by the cup. I don't know. By the pound is a lot because broccoli doesn't weigh much. What position did you play in hockey? I was a goaltender. I played goalie. Hey, I guess the Bears are winning 12 games this year with this historic offense. I don't care how many games they win. They can win 0 games for all I care. Just they're going to throw the ball more, though. They'll throw the ball more. I don't care how many games they do. Yeah, I don't care. Although they have gotten better. I can see them winning like 8-9. Stinger wants to know if you play football, young money. I think he used to. Yeah, it hurts 760 rushing yards and 13. But also he missed the last 2 games. Still had 700. He would have gone probably would have gone well over 800, maybe 900 rushing yards. So it can happen. You can have DJ Moore can have 1,000 yards. Justin Fields can run for 1,000. Khalil Herbert's not going to run for 1,000. Don't buy into that. Cole Kmet will be fine for a tight end, but he won't be like incredible. He won't be Travis Kelce. He'll be fine for a tight end. Yeah. So anyways, all right, guys, we're about an hour in. Looks like all the questions are up. I appreciate you guys. I know for some of you, it's like probably 1 a.m. where you're at. So I appreciate it. Just so Stinger knows, Young Money played high school and college ball, but his whatever the PFP is, I guess his little avatar there is from high school. But okay, you guys can have your own little chat in there. I'm not gonna keep popping up. All right, guys, appreciate you being on tonight. Don't forget mock draft tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to guarantee your slot, blockfantasy.com/endgame. 30% off any subscription. Plus, you get access to bonus articles, bonus videos, bonus live streams, all kinds of cool stuff, rankings, plus priority access into our mock drafts. We'll see you on the draft tomorrow night. Don't forget to check out our videos. We got one dropping tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't, subscribe, hit the like button. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.